I work in education myself, and with young college students. And when we had a trivia for Black History Month, it was an embarrassment that they didn't know who our basic, historical figures are. The traditional ones, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And you have a whole country full of electronic zombies, a whole continent full of electronic zombies, a whole world full of electronic zombies. I mean, think about it now. You are at a point now where if you are a globalist and you want to take over this world, one military, one bank, one religion, one school system, you want to absolutely control this world and then depopulate the world on the basis of color, with blacks being the first to go. Artificial intelligence is a dream for the globalists in the eugenicists.
What it do, my Z folks. Man, we got another reaction video that we reacting to. We got the King Kong consciousness. Dr. Umar himself speaking on AI being the beginning of the end.
I still think of you. Look, sometimes I don't understand what my mind's been through. But when I get the chance to talk to you, I can process all I've been through. Look, I don't hold no regrets or no grudges. No grudges. But I place a bet on your life. How many times you going up and fall back right to the ground? Oh, you gotta connect to the ground. Oh.
Before we even get into this, I'm coming into this video with the open mind. Because a lot of people, whenever they hear Dr. Umar again on the mic, you feel what I'm saying, they already have their own, beliefs built on dude. You feel what I'm saying? And me personally, a lot of the things he be talking about, I resonate a lot with. I might not agree with a lot of things he may say, but we should be able to agree to disagree. With a healthy conscience and take in different perspectives and see where that can align in. So with this 14-minute video, we finna just look over. We're mainly hearing, because it's nothing that he's doing, it's mainly what he's saying. So in this video, listen up, because I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be gems. I ain't gonna lie, Dr. Umar really be dropping gems, yo. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people be focusing on face value convo points, not the bigger picture of what he's really speaking on. That's why we got this video right here. We got King Kong consciousness, Dr. Umar. Artificial intelligence is the beginning of the end. We live. Let's tune in, man.
What do you think about AI technology as it relates to education or in general? Because we have new things called ChatGPT, Claude, all of these new applications that is allowing folks to cheat intellectualism. They are bypassing thinking, critical thinking. How detrimental is that for us as a black community?
From a imperialist perspective, from a white supremacy domination perspective, from a capitalist perspective, artificial intelligence, along with the social media revolution, along with the internet revolution, along with the video game revolution, is a dream come true for them. Remember, what is the purpose of church and public school? To teach the people how not to think. That is the goal of education and religion. So now we are entering into a sphere now where the I want to say this, IT stands for information technology. So I'm going to lump in AI, video gaming, social media. I'm going to lump all that into information technology. We are at a point now in the history of this planet where information technology may surpass church as the number one influence on the minds of everybody. I do not know if religion is strong enough to withstand the indoctrinating effect, to withstand the intoxicating effect of artificial intelligence, social media, video gaming, in the internet world. I think that information technology might have replaced Jesus. It might have.
Wow.
That is a strong take. And there could definitely be some truth behind that. So I want to first touch on the topic of ChatGPT before we even get deep into AI in itself. ChatGPT is popping right now. You feel what I'm saying? I use it. Me personally, how I use ChatGPT might not even be how the norms do it. You know, because I come to ChatGPT with my own consciousness. So I see what he's saying, how people can become overly reliant on it. Because anybody that's overly reliant on anything, on especially one thing, boy oh boy, you went for a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? But how you use anything in this world, whether it be social media, whether it be ChatGPT, whether it be the ability to post a video online, the ability to promote your brand, the ability to how you use the tools that you're given, that is completely up to you. And I remember I made a video a while ago, literally a couple seconds ago, and the point I made was free will. Free will is a dangerous thing. You feel what I'm saying? With great power comes great responsibility. And the free will of using ChatGPT, using YouTube, using social media is literally all in your hands. You have the ability to co-create with the tools you've been given, you know. To say that AI, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, informational technology is replacing religion, replacing Jesus, that would be a little bit of a stretch, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, you know, because it takes that one person and how they're using that said tool to even see the outcome, you know. And we live in a world where your outcome, the way you use a tool may be completely different to the next one, you know. When you're looking at it from the people who even made all of this AI shit, made ChatGPT, like the people who constructed social media, in some cases, like business-wise, they're like, you know, a lot of people are using my software, a lot of people are using this, you know, say this website, this app, this whatever it may be. But also, at the same time, damn, a lot of people are using this shit. And latent functions. outcome that you really didn't even expect. You know what I'm saying? I can probably guess, like, the people who made Facebook. There's this movie called The Social Dilemma. The people who made Facebook, the people who made all these different social media apps. I mean, depending on what mindset they were at, they knew they would get like a lot of people on that motherfucker, but they did not expect everybody in the world to literally use this one thing that they created. So now you're in a interesting position of a lot of power, a lot of resources, you're basically the train tracks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different trains, whether it can be the Amtrak, whether it can be the Metro, you know what I'm saying? They have the ability to go on those train tracks. And your sole purpose is just being a train track. You know? Now you got the train. Now you wanna go more in depth, look at the conductor. Now you have somebody controlling the train that's on the train tracks. You see how you feel me? The loop can continue. The point he made on people becoming dependent on artificial intelligence is something that a lot of people need to be aware of. Or be aware of how much time you're spending on your phone, how much time you're spending on social media, how much time or how much effort you're putting into AI, ChatGPT. And I'm speaking for myself and mainly my generation and the generation under, that the majority of us, obviously, you know what I'm saying, use ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? It's what's popping right now. So if you don't use it, at some point you're gonna at least integrate it, because let's look at it from a business point of view. A lot of people are now integrating AI within their own business models. You know, there's AI within social media. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no matter where you turn, it's going to be there. So it's more of being aware of the change, not letting the change control you, but being aware of the change. And if Dr. Umar's way of expressing that awareness, spreading that awareness, is how he communicates, the talking points he puts out there, that is his way of, yo, we need to actually talk about this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's really not lying. You know, technology is one thing in a lot of other different things, but we're evolving in just that one category, technology. I mean, we're living in the age of technology. So it's like, I guess talking points would be is how can we use this powerful tool in the right way, you know what I'm saying? Then you get into what is right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, free will is a dangerous thing, because your right to you might be somebody else's wrong in their eyes, but in your eyes it's right. Same vice versa, you know? So it's like a double-edged sword. So my final input on this is really just being aware of how you're using the tools around you, how you're using these. If you want to go deeper into it, is know how these are made in the first place. Why are we using phones if you know how these were made in the first place? Through child labor, through a whole bunch of hidden, you know what I'm saying? But we here. We
already know the church hasn't had the children for at least the past 30 years, but they've been lost to youth.
Yep.
That's nothing new. But now they might even take the adults, because, you know, the elders are getting older. And so that means that next generation of people who are 60 years now, they didn't have a good 10, 20 years of information technology. I just don't think religion will ever have the control it ever used to be. But that's not necessarily good, although I don't.
My fault for pausing. Not my phone, good. This my shit. But another point I want to make is all this control talk. The need to control, whether it be in religion, whether it be in the schools. Who is looking to control? You know, that's really, really, that's interesting. You know, because you can say technology like took away the control that religion and school had, but why is there control in the first place? You feel what I'm saying? Because the more you want to control something, the more it's gonna resent it. The more it's gonna pull away from it. So that's interesting.
I don't like the control religion had, but I really don't like the control that information technology has, if you could follow what I'm saying.
Yep.
Because religion is boring, but you do it because you don't want to be on the other side of God, as you're taught, right? But it's boring. So you really got to hold people's attention in religion. That's why the pastor's oratorical skill is so effective. In information technology, you're not bored, you love it. You are addicted to it.
Oh, yeah.
I just read something today. It said that people who scroll through their phones 6 hours a day are some of the most,
6 hours.
and I may be misquoting slightly, but to the point that it was making, to the point, it basically said people who scroll through their phones on average of 4 to 6 hours a day, they are normally some of the lowest achieving people in the world.
I believe that.
And I'm saying most people scroll through their phones damn near 6 hours a day. So, and I'm bringing it up to say this. If I believe in globalism, if I believe in the Illuminati, if I am a member of the New World Order, I love this. Because after all, who's giving us the information technology? It's the globalists.
Yep.
Think about it. Why did the Rockefellers not want economic science taught in the public schools? Because they said if we teach the children how to make money, they'll take money from us. We have to keep the children dumbed down.
Clock it.
That's why you don't have financial science in public school. You don't even have it in rich white private schools. You don't even get financial science. The Rockefellers wouldn't let it happen because the only way they could protect their monopoly on the financial systems of the world was to make sure public school children were not taught those sciences. So now you have a system.
Clock it. I always wonder that too. I always wonder that. Like, why isn't like finance one of like the main? If you're gonna have courses, you know, history, you got science, you got math, you got all that rah. Why not make finance a course within the system? If finance is like a main issue within this globe we're living in, why not make it? Interesting.
Where you say instead of not teaching something in school, just make sure everybody is dumbed down by their dependency on information technology. And you have a whole country full of electronic zombies, a whole continent full of electronic zombies, a whole world full of electronic zombies. I mean, think about it now. You are at a point now where if you are a globalist and you want to take over this world, one military, one bank, you know, one religion, one school system, you want to absolutely control this world and then depopulate the world on the basis of color, with blacks being the first to go. Artificial intelligence is a dream for the globalists in the eugenicists. Because all you got to do is give every black kid a cell phone, give every black person a cell phone, and you'll never have to worry about them standing up against you again.
Wow.
Nigga, everybody got phones, bruh. That's a, you know what I'm saying, white, black, whatever the it might be. That's like a wild stretch, you know. Awareness is really like the main thing, you know. Being aware of what this can do. Being aware of the pros and the cons. As long as you personally are aware of the pros and the cons of this, social media, ChatGPT, how you even using it, how you're integrating it in your own life, in your own business, in your own thinking, in your own woo. Knowing your balance. Know the limit. Know when to put this shit down. You feel what I'm saying? Know when to go touch some fucking grass. You feel what I'm saying? It's like having talks like those, or having, if you needed to be, community talks about those, but blatantly saying you give a black person a phone, like, that's crazy. That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? There could be some deep truth within that saying, but okay, boom. Now that black kid don't got a phone. Now what? You know what I'm saying? You just that's a wild stretch. Wild stretch, but
Information technology has replaced religion as the greatest time waster and distractor for Black America.
Man. Because, you know, I agree. I share the same sentiments as well, because I'll give you a quick example. You know, I work in education myself and with young college students. And when we had a trivia for Black History Month, it was an embarrassment that they didn't know who our basic, you know, historical figures are. The traditional ones, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. See, if you told me that all they knew was the basics one, and get the fuck out of here. You're not telling me no college kids not knowing who Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. You're not telling me that shit. Maybe like the, you know what I'm saying, the folks that achieved some shit that didn't really have their name out there. Like maybe if you drop some names that people won't recognize, maybe. But you're not about to tell me niggas don't know who the fuck Martin Luther King is. Get that shit out.
The Rosa Parks, the regular folks that we were taught growing up, and many of them did not know who they were. It was astonishing. It was slightly embarrassing, and at the least shocking. So the phone, to your point, has stolen them away from, you know, investigating.
The fuck does a phone gotta do from you searching up who the fuck Martin Luther King is, bruh? Man, get that out of here, bruh. Hey, it's all love, but nah, get that out of there.
Being critical, going outside.
Heavy on that, going outside, touching some grass, get your dogs on some dirt, but you're not gonna tell me that shit. Hell no. Hell no. Hell nah. Heavy on the critical thinking, though. You feel what I'm saying? What I would agree with is that AI is diminishing critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I had to check myself, too. You feel what I'm saying? Being overly dependent on, you know, always finding the answer on ChatGPT, looking at, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I love doing just researching. I love learning in general. So it's like something I just learned about, you feel what I'm saying? Boop, put it down for me, look into a little bit. And with all this social media, ChatGPT, like, literally the world is literally right in front of you. So it can get overwhelming real quick if you don't, you know what I'm saying, do your own type of work to balance it out. But you're not about to sit there and tell me that just because Black kids are using these phones, they don't know who the fuck Martin Luther King. Get that shit out of my face.
Just interacting with the environment. So shout out to the folks. The only kids I see really interacting with the environment are those who play sports or you know, traditional sports, basketball, football, baseball, things like that. Okay. But in terms of actually attempting to just learn, just go in a corner and get it in, I rarely see that. But shout out to the kids that do. Not saying that all of them do, but this AI technology has definitely had an impact on us. And that's a great.
You're not about to use that as a backing point, bro. I can't let that rock. Can't let that rock, bro. Can't let that rock, bro. Bro, if you. And if there are folks that don't even know, like, nah, bro.
Nah. Segue to the fact that you made, to the point that you made, that it could be stronger than religion. So, Dr.
It definitely is for the children, and it's already been for the children. I mean, the church lost the youth, you know, at least 20 years ago. The church ain't had the youth. The church hasn't had the youth this century. Let's just put it like that. The church has not had the youth since the year 2000.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking under 30, right? Now, there's still youth who go to church, but the church does not influence young people the way it used to, you know?
I wasn't even born yet.
But they still had the adults, you know, and now with AI, they may not even have the adults anymore.
That should say a lot. Like, I wasn't even born yet. That should say a lot.
But, you know, but again, it's not a blessing for us because we need thinkers. We don't need robots. And artificial intelligence is basically entertaining our people into a psychological death. You got to remember now, from a military science perspective, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Sun Tzu said it is better to leave a nation intact and just take it over, as opposed to going to war against it and having to kill everyone. See that?
Yeah.
So in other words, what can I do to destroy Black America? I don't want to use COINTELPRO. That's too messy. I tried AIDS. It didn't get the job done. I tried crack.
He dropping out shit. Nigga said, I tried AIDS. That didn't get the job done. I tried crack. On a serious note, that's do your research.
Working, but the Negroes are still here. I need something that will put their children to sleep for good. That I never have to worry about another Fred Hampton. I don't need another King, another Malcolm, another Douglas, another Garvey, another Ida B, another Harriet. I don't need a Fred Hampton, a George.
I hear that. Especially with the critical thinking part of things. I hear that. But I feel like a whole opposite to that is with the world being literally in your hands, right in front of your face, you're able to look at, Harriet Tubman. Who else he named? Malcolm X, Douglas, Garvey.
Another Ida B, another Harriet. I don't
You're
need
able
a
to look into their own lives on how they. It's crazy. If you really put in the work and the research to look on how these folks moved, you're able to learn about the history just like that. You know what I'm saying? Will it stay in the mind depending on how you do your research? Will it stay in the mind? That's up to you. That's up to the personal. That's up to how you move in. You feel what I'm saying? But to say that solely because of this and ChatGPT and all these other AI things, they won't be able to move how these people moved back in the days. I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of the things that were in the dark is now coming to light because of these things. You feel what I'm saying? Let's keep it going.
Hampton and George Jackson. I don't need an Alprentice Bunchy Carter. I don't need a Carter G. Woodson, a Booker T. What can I do?
But what he's
to
able to do,
psychologically eliminate the black child, to turn the black child into a psychologically lifeless being, that would be artificial intelligence.
Damn.
You think about this now. Think about it. Our kids were not reading before AI.
Oh, man.
They were not. Look, half the black boys in 4th grade right now in America cannot read on a 4th grade level. Right now. Before AI. Half the black boys in the 8th grade could not do math on grade level. Before AI. You think you got a special education crisis now? You ain't seen nothing. And given the fact that most of our kids are raised, 70% of them, in single-parented, female-led homes, you think that black mother is going to be able to keep all 2 or 3 of her kids off that cell phone long enough to do their homework? And then they talking about why we ain't got no black boys, black men are dropping out of college. They say there's far less black men in college now than there was a generation ago. Well, it really ain't going to be none now. To make a long story short, information technology is psychological warfare against the black community, and it is probably going to turn all of our children into psychological casualties in the war against white supremacy.
Wow, man. And I saw, to your point about young brothers in college, I saw a stat that said today at our HBCUs, only 26% of the population collectively at HBCUs are black men. And I said, whoa, how did that happen? If it is true. So, to your point, man, this is scary. I'm so glad you...
But here's the thing, too, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not automatically alarmed by it because the college degree isn't really providing black men with much opportunity.
You right?
Now, if they're going into real estate, if they're going into entrepreneurship, You know, if they're going into trade schools,
Trades, yep.
you know, because there's other avenues to wealth creation.
That's a fact.
So if they're going to these other avenues, I'm okay. The question is, what that research is not telling us is what are they doing instead of going to
Right, in
college.
spite of that. Yep. I agree. So that's some research I need to do. How many of our young black men are in the trades or other fields, trucking, things like that? So, Dr. Umar, I would like you to please tell us how can we contribute to your school, and if there's anything else you want to share as it relates to the donations. I know you got a lot of saboteurs out there, people who are trying to shut you down, and I can't imagine what you're
I
going
ain't
through,
worried
man.
about it. They can't stop it, man. See, you know, people, you know, I get asked this.
Yo, I actually rock with. I be hearing like a lot of the lefts and rights of what people got to say about what the Umar himself is trying to construct with the school, but hearing about what he wanted to implement within it, I was like, yo, this is fire and very, very much needed. And very, very much needed for the people that he's able to affect in his reality, the people he's able to affect in the physical plane and also in the online plane. Oh, wow, ain't that something? Cause without the hard truth of it, without these or without this, I wouldn't know who the fuck this is unless he's up in the books, newspaper, or some way. You feel what I'm saying? But if you live around dude, or he so happen to travel around the place where you are at, and you met him before, and you know what his mission is, woo, woo, woo. But what he's doing with his academy and everything like that, yo, I rock with it. I said the courses he was talking about implementing, I rocked with it. I rocked with it heavy. And if you don't know, do your research. I ain't gonna lie.
Question all the time.
Yeah.
And people ask me, they say, how do you keep going?
Yeah.
Despite all the opposition that you get. They'll say, I'll get on the internet and I can scroll through pages of haters attacking you. And yet I'll see you at a sold out college. I'll see you in Africa. I'll see you in Europe. I'll see you in South America. I'll see you in Australia. And by the way, I'm the only black scholar on the planet who's been invited to speak on every continent 3 times.
I saw that.
You know, and I might be the only one who's ever done it in history, but definitely the only one alive. Now, what allows me to keep going is really, really simple, and I offer this as a small lesson to our brothers and sisters in resilience. And that is, if you know your purpose, you can put up with any opposition. That is to say, if you know why you are here, you can put up with any what that will come your way.
You know yourself.
I've been able to sustain myself through all the obstacles because I know that I'm doing the work that my ancestors sent me here to do. That and only that is what sustains me. If I had questions about whether I should be trying to open that school, if I had questions as to whether or not I need to be spending my life traveling the world, motivating our people to organize, if I had questions about whether or not I was ever supposed to become a psychologist and really help our parents understand and take back their power in the education and mental health system, if I had questions,
I rock with that.
I may have given this up a long time ago. If I did this for stardom, if I did this for approval, I might have given it up a long time ago. I do this for one reason and one reason only, because it's the reason for which I was born. And that is what sustains me through struggle. As far as the donations, our brothers and sisters can donate on PayPal only through PayPal. If you see any other financial exchange platform advertising SDMG, it's a scam. There's people out there using Cash Apps. We don't have the Cash App anymore. We don't have Zelle. We don't have Venmo. All we have is PayPal, and that is paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Again, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. If they want to mail a donation, payable to FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. Again, FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware 19809. They can always text message me if they need that information. 215-989-9858.
Now, the hell? for full take on this whole thing, I rock with it. I rock with it. The bigger picture is that if you look on like a global, like you just zoom out, I ain't gonna lie, technology is doing a lot. Doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be through YouTube, yo.
1 minute later.
Like I was saying, through the act of free will, where anybody on this world can hop on, record, you feel what I'm saying, post it on any platform. You feel what I'm saying? Same thing with music, same thing with anything, honestly. That act can get scary, you feel what I'm saying? Because it's like the pros of it is like, let's say you have some type of business, you're doing some type of research in some sort of field, the information will be there. You feel what I'm saying? The cons of it is, okay, you learn this information, but how deep will this information stay within your mind? And that was one of the works I did with myself, because I love it. I just love learning. But it was to a point where it's like, okay, this information is not like retaining in my mind. So let me take what I really need to take and let me do my own type of, create your own type of system. And shout out Bruno for this, he put me onto like this nice way of when you're doing research, looking into certain things and having a whole bin of certain things you want to look into personally. But how vast AI can get, it can put you in a loop. It can put you in a motherfucking loop. You want to talk about the school side of things, whether you're in college or when you're in some sort of school and you're looking for easy answers, ChatGPT, that's there. So it removes like the whole thinking process out of your mind, and you're able to get the answers you need. You feel what I'm saying? So yes, this does has effect on the mind. You feel what I'm saying? But that's why you have to have a sense of balance. If you know you're on this, you're indulging in this too much, you're on this too much, you're doing too much, do the opposite. Do the opposite. Step away from it all for a second. Go outside, go smell some air, go connect with some people outside, go talk to some strangers, go to the park, go to the mall, go to the go in the building. You feel what I'm saying? Just being aware. You know what I'm saying? That's really the main thing. Because whether you like it or not, regardless, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. And if you're not aware of the change, oof. That change finna walk all over you, man. You feel what I'm saying? And now if you're able to integrate the change into what you're doing now, you good. You feel what I'm saying? But it's all lessons at the end of the day. Whatever next man is going through, whatever he has to deal with, whatever he has to align, it's all lessons at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? So artificial intelligence being the beginning of the end, you seen the movies, I ain't gonna lie, you seen the movies, you feel what I'm saying? So honestly, we all in the same boat with this. We're really just sitting back and we're seeing how this is playing out. Hey, when I start seeing robots walking on the sidewalk, that's when I'm really I ain't gonna lie, what we doing? If I just see a robot just chilling, walking on the block, yeah, it's slow. I ain't gonna lie, it's slow. Anybody else in tune to the Jones, man? Appreciate y'all having here. Appreciate y'all watching this, John, man. I know what to do. Let me know what y'all think about in the comments, because this is like a very, very, like, there definitely needs to be conversations about this more, because it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. But other than that, though,